All right. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Ghana. Good day, the whole world, wherever you're watching from. This is me, Emmanuel Eyaba, live in Sierra Leone, and I'm here with Miss Juliet Ya Asantewa Asante, the Chief Executive Officer of National Film Authority, Ghana. It's nice meeting you today.
It's nice meeting you too.
You look so beautiful. You look so amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Can you just tell us a little about yourself?
Right. So you mentioned my name already. My name is Juliet Ya Asante. I'm the CEO of the National Film Authority of Ghana, which is the body that oversights everything film in Ghana. But I'm also a filmmaker. I'm a practicing filmmaker. Did that for years. In fact, Nigerians may remember me from the first season of Tinsel because I played Brenda. And after that, basically, I kind of got into the policy of things because we need to make some changes happen in government. Yeah.
So how has it been like, before you entered the National Film Authority and now what has really changed?
Well, first Ghana didn't have a film commission like many African countries. And I'm proud to say that I set up the office from scratch.
Awesome.
And so the National Film Authority came into birth in 2019 December. So this is our third year. And a lot has happened since then. Obviously, having regulations and policy, and we oversight development of film, marketing, distribution, anything film is under my office. And so for me, being a practitioner, understanding the challenges that we face as a sector, and now having the opportunity to make some changes or help advocate more deeply for those changes, I think we are using the opportunity to the best of our advantage.
Okay. Now let's talk about Ghana and Nigerian film industry.
Right.
Nigeria unarguably is the biggest film hub in Africa.
Definitely.
What do you think we can do to open up more doors for collaborations? Because right now, collaboration is the thing.
Right.
What do you think we need to do for Ghana and Nigeria to make better films?
First of all, Ghana and Nigeria needs to work closer together. We've been working, especially when it comes to the creative space. Music, we all know the many collaborations that happen in music. Even now, when there's no collaboration, we still hear Ghanaian phrases like the recent music from Kiss Daniel, where you hear Odoyewu and all.
That's Ghana.
It means my love, yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So I can call you Odoyewu.
Odoyewu, yes.
So you are my Odoyewu.
I am your Odoyewu. And so, those collaborations, I think, have showed the way for where we need to go. Myself, I mentioned that I played the first season of Brenda. And during that time, I was in Nigeria for the entire period. I have Nigerian colleagues, Nigerian friends, and all of that. And so I feel like Ghana and Nigeria, you are like a big brother, and we are like your smaller brothers or sisters or whatever. And we have so much in common. I mean, my last film, which was nominated Best Film in Africa, Silver Rain, starred Enina Enwiwe. And then since then he's grown to become a really big star.
Pretty big.
And so one of the focus of my office is to make sure that collaborations, more co-productions happen. We would love Nigerian filmmakers to come and shoot their movies in Ghana because Ghana is positioning itself as a shooting destination and also a film and content hub. You mentioned Nigeria being the biggest, but you know what is interesting? Ghana follows you closely.
Of course,
in fact, when you take the UNESCO report, for which reason we are here, Nigeria produces about 2,500 films annually, and Ghana produces about 600 annually. And so we are very close behind you. If you look at the population of Nigeria and the population of Ghana, which is just 35 million people, we are doing very well. And, you know, I feel that Ghana offers really nice sceneries. We also have some structures that can benefit both parties. And so for me, one of my focus is to enhance more collaborations. There was a time when Nigerians, you were even, you know, employing more Ghanaian crew members and actors and all that. And that has dried up. And we don't know why that dried up. We know that sometimes there's miscommunication or misinformation. And I'm very happy that you've taken the time to speak with me to clarify some of those misunderstandings that have been out there.
Yeah, and one of the misunderstandings we have back in Nigeria is they say a Nigerian filmmaker cannot just come to Ghana now and make a film. You know, that the rules are so rigid. As in fact, if they even see you around, they wouldn't even want to entertain you. I mean, we get to hear it. And here we are talking about co-production. So now, as the authority in charge of the film sector in Ghana, for someone to come and film in Ghana, what is supposed to be the procedure? Because this video I'm going to share to all the guilds in Nigeria. I'm going to share it on AMP. I'm going to share it on AMPMAN. I'm going to share it on DGN, you know, which I happen to be the chairman directors in Abuja. So for a producer or director to come to Ghana to make a film, what is the step-by-step process?
Right. First, let me clarify that there's a letter or a press release that we gave out that is covering the whole world, and no one can fault a country for wanting to put in place structures. It's for your own good, because if you come to Ghana and say you're shooting something and somebody stops you, let's say a security person stops you or an agency stops you and say, where's your permit or your license, and you don't have one, you'll be in trouble. If say you need something, you're coming to Ghana, maybe you even need police uniform, military uniform, or you need to shoot at the airport, you need to use drones, so many things. My authority is where you would come to. We need to give you that permission so that you have no issues at all. Or if you have an issue, we would show up for you. Recently, even in Ghana, there's a case where a filmmaker went to rent some things for their film, money, you know, fake money and uniform, police uniform, and they were caught by the police. And we had to step in and clarify. The filmmaker, we stepped in, so the filmmaker was released. But the person who wasn't registered or wasn't a filmmaker, as we speak now, they are on their way to about 10 years imprisonment. And so it's really, really important, I think, for every country, is for the benefit of the film industry and also for the benefit of the country to have structures in place. So we have just said, when you come to Ghana, contact us and get a film permit. That's all for your shoot. And this is a global requirement. And so if you're coming to shoot, you just go to the National Film Authority website, which is very easy. I'll mention it and perhaps we'll write it as well. www.nfa.gov.gh. NFA stands for National Film Authority. And then you just come for your film permit and you shoot. That's all. And this applies to the entire world, not just to Nigeria. In fact, one of the things we are hoping for is that we can begin to talk about co-productions and treaties more. And then perhaps on a case-by-case basis, especially with Nigeria, we may look at how we can maybe cut down some of those rates or maybe give some waivers or that. So I will encourage you and your association perhaps to then try and bring other associations together. And let's have a conversation. If the rate is too high for you, it's not a lot, it's just about $100, I think, to get a permit per person to come and shoot. And that gives you access to the entire country, to the airspace, to the ground space, to everything. We don't think that's a lot. But if it is, let's have a conversation, because certainly what we want is more collaborations. I tell you, when I shot my last film and casted from Nigeria, Emina from Nigeria, and I casted from Kenya, South Africa, and some countries, we shot in Ghana and South Africa, you couldn't even tell the difference between the Ghanaians and the Nigerians in the film. We are such one people. We have similar cultures. We are friendly towards each other. I think Nigeria is doing great by itself, but it can't hurt. There's a saying we have that even the sea is open to rain. So it can't hurt. It can't hurt to do more things with Ghana. Ghana has a training school, which I'm also the chairwoman of, the National Film and Television Institute. And that training school could bring a lot of benefit to Nigerians, and it already does. But then again, Nigeria is a powerhouse. You are our older brother. We accept that. We are friends. We are siblings. I think it is time for us to consciously make the attempt to work together more and do more collaborations.
Wow, really awesome. All right, if you're just joining us, this is the head of National Film Authority in Ghana. Now, she has just clarified it. They didn't say don't come to Ghana to film. All what they are saying is when you come and get a permit. We Africans, we do the like, corner way. No, it's not right. It's a global standard. You can't just walk to any street in the US to start filming.
Exactly.
You can't walk to any street in Dublin or any of these places to start filming. You just go and get some certain permits. You don't say we need to work with permits, because what actually helped Nollywood to thrive is just the stuff they go. But right now, things are beginning to change. Ghana is open for us to come and make films, And the truth about the matter is, synergy is actually the next level. Where your knowledge stops is where another person's own begins.
Exactly.
Where what you feel you know stops is where her own will start. She needs us, we need her. So Ghana is open for Nigerian filmmakers to come and make films. All they are telling us to do is come and get certain permits. And she has even said that, okay, if we feel the amount is too much, let us have some certain conversations. Exactly. Let us now say, okay, now this amount is too much. Can we cut it down? I think our film authorities in Nigeria, National Film Video Censors Board, I'm sure you're watching this, Nigerian Film Corporation, Dr. Chibia, I'm sure you're watching this. Let us take this conversation to another level. Because whether we like it or not, co-production is the next thing. Co-production is just, even in big studios abroad, I mean, they do co-productions. You see a film that is being shot in like 7 continents,
yes,
and you not tell me that the film that is shot in 7 continents like that is not going to make it in terms of distribution. Now you've been able to open up a lot of avenues to market your film, So please let us see how we can make this work. Ghana is our baby sister, our baby brother, as you will call it. Yeah, we are big in size, we are big in numbers, but they are trying to have a structure that we all need to blend and form to make this industry, the African film industry, to be very strong. Now, what do you think is the reason why a lot of Hollywood studios are beginning to rely on African stories? Recently now, there's been so much influx of Afrocentric films.
Yeah.
What do you think is the reason for that?
First, let me say that so we need to move fast. When I say we need to move fast, there's this African proverb as well, a Ghanaian proverb, I'm sure you share it, that one stick of broom can't go as far as a bunch of broom together. And so, now that the interest is high, we need to move very fast and we need to move together. But when you ask me the question, why the interest, I think it's a natural progression of things.
Okay.
Think about it. Our stories haven't been told, our folklores haven't been told, our narratives haven't been represented on the global stage, and the world is hungry to hear our story. The world is hungry to feel our skin. The world is hungry to coordinate, to feel us as a people. And so I think that interest is driven by demand. They're business people, and any Hollywood studio or any studio anywhere is a business. And a business like a studio, a film business, relies heavily on authentic as well as new stories and stories that progress the human condition. And when you talk about human condition, I tell you, in just about 7 years, 40% of the global youth population will be situated in Africa.
Wow.
And so, 40% of the world, because you talk about youth population, 40%. Someone says, what does that mean? Even in Africa, I hear in Nigeria, 77% of you in Nigeria are below the age of 25.
Yeah.
And so if you put all of these data together and all of these dynamics together, and the fact that the economic power of Africans is growing. Nigeria, you are the richest country on the continent from the last data. Ghana is also really high up there in the scheme of things. So I think that no one is trying to do Africa a favor. No one is trying to do African films, black films a favor. But it is a demand-driven approach. So now they're beginning to realize that Africa is the next frontier. Look, let me tell you this. Next year, we are doing the Africa Cinema Summit. And I want to use the opportunity to invite everyone to go to www.Africa Cinema Summit and register to attend. Now, what is this summit going to do? For the first time in Africa, we are having cinema investors come into Africa and look at the scenario and look at the opportunities to build cinemas in our continent.
Wow.
Why is this important? Nigeria has one of the largest number of cinemas and screens on the continent. But someone will ask, how much is that? 77. At least from the last UNESCO report, that's 77. If you come to Ghana, it's even less, way less. Ghana, we have just about 3 or 4 for a population of 35 million people. We are in Sierra Leone, a population of 8 million people, and they have barely one working cinema. In fact, it hardly works anyway. And so almost every single African country needs a cinema. And so for me, I got on the world stage of cinema investors, and the pitch was very simple. Where would you rather be than where your biggest opportunity is? And that, I think, that phrase goes for every other thing. The biggest opportunity for the film community globally, the emerging opportunity is Africa, is Black people. West Africa, we are doing very well. We are ahead of the game. Nigeria, you are way up there. Ghana is behind you. That is even the more reason why we need to come together and do more together. That's what I think.
All right. Thank you so much, Juliet.
And let me just say, though, that my last film, when I mentioned my last film, Silver Rain, it was actually distributed in Nigeria by Film One. The collaborations have been going on, and even the cinema summit I'm talking about, Moses himself, Abatobe, and representing Film One, have been instrumental supporting us to make this happen. So the collaborations are already ongoing, I must say. You mentioned Dr. Chidi. I've had several conversations with him. He's come to visit me in Ghana. We've talked about potentially, working on a film treaty, but the conversation hasn't progressed, and I feel like we need to make a bigger effort. And certainly, I must take this platform to reiterate that Nigerian filmmakers are very welcome to Ghana. If you have any questions, you can send me a personal question. You can send it to info at nfa.gov.gh, and our website, I already mentioned our website. So, I will respond when you send me, or you can even make it CEO, that's me, CEO at nfa.gov.gh. That comes straight to my inbox. If you have any questions, please send those questions, and we are very happy to pay attention.
Wow, if you're just joining us, this is Raw Impact Africa TV, and we are talking with the head of the National Film Authority in Ghana, Miss Juliet Asante. It's been an awesome moment with you this morning. I tell you something, collaboration is the next thing, the next way to go. Don't think you just want to be in isolation. Everybody needs someone. That is why we are here today. We came for a film capacity building training for women and men. This is where we are. And we're also trying to see how we can take this relationship to the next level. That is actually what it's all about. Someone told me the purpose of contact is impact. You meet people for reasons. You meet people for different reasons. These, who knows, it might just be one of the reasons why we met, to see how we can strengthen the film industry between Ghana and Nigeria. Because I noticed for some time, It don't be like say everybody just dey do it one thing.
Yeah,
you know?
we can't.
We can't.
You know, it's always tempting to do your own thing, to
Yeah.
be in your own corner, to work with people
Very
you are
much so.
familiar with. But they say that where your comfort zone ends is where growth begins. And so, definitely my office, definitely my person, I'm very, very open and encouraging and welcoming. And I say, come to Ghana, come and shoot your films, come to Ghana, work with Ghanaians, invite Ghanaians to Nigeria to work. I mean, you know, the Ghanaian market is also a market.
Of
And
course.
if you have Ghanaians in your film, just like if we have Nigerians in our film, then we can sell our films to Nigeria. You can also sell your films better to Ghana.
Yeah.
Just like the musicians are doing. Let's not reinvent the wheel. I love my fellow Nigerians.
All right, so thank you so much, and do well to subscribe to our channel, Raw Impact Africa TV. Let us keep this conversation going on. I'm going to be having a lot of write-ups on her contact, her email, her website, so that you can follow up. Don't be shy of going to film in Ghana. Just come to National Film Authority and get the necessary permits. And I tell you, they are going to actually make it very, very easy for you. Everything you need is actually going to be made for you. Just make sure you come through the front door and get the permit. And I mean, the world is going to be a better place for us all. So what's your final word for your people today?
Oh, I love Nigeria. I love Nigerians, and I used to be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So maybe I jump in front of your camera sometime.
Very
But certainly, please, I also am relying on you. Beyond carrying this message, perhaps you can unite people and let's have the conversation of a treaty.
Yeah, very
because I
important.
know that in Nigeria, industry really pushes everything.
Yeah, it
And
does.
so for me, it's just more of the same thing, which is more collaborations, more co-productions. Let's remain friends because we are brothers.
All right. So thank you very much, all my Odeyewus. Love you. Bye bye.